said, bro. I get it.
So
I
she
get.
says. So she says.
All right, then. So she says. So she says. But all right, though. Let's get into somebody that I guess people see as a little bit more credible. Well, I guess way more credible than Candace. Let's go ahead and get into that Alex Jones and PBD again.
I'm not saying she's uncredible. Set. That's not. No. You're missing what I'm saying. I'm not saying she's not credible. I'm saying she's not providing any proof of any of her claims
But she
that's that Candace is unfit to run the company. That's where this started
no, that
from.
Erica Kirk is unfit to run the
Or sorry,
company.
that Erica Kirk. You know what I mean? I
Remember,
misspoke.
but she never said that. She said that it's just a bit strange that she, instead of
That's the
taking that time off to be
insinuation.
yeah, I know, and
Can
that's
you
an
not read through the
insinuation.
lines?
No, but Monty, you're saying that she's assuming that Erica's not fit to run the company when that's not true. She didn't say that. She just says a bit strange how she
She's
just stepped up to the
implying
plate.
it. Yes,
She
she's
didn't even
implying
imply
it.
it. I
What
mean, I didn't get that.
qualifications?
That's
That was
what
the
you
first
got.
thing she said. That was the very first. What
No, she said,
qualifications
I
does
think
this?
it's strange how instead of mourning your husband, you're just ready to run this business and talk
That's
numbers.
not what. That's literally not what she said.
No, that's
She said,
exactly
"What
what she said.
qualifications does this woman have to run a $250 million company?" That was the first thing. I've listened to this entire thing without providing any commentary up until now, and I've listened and absorbed it as much as I can. There is nothing. She's not getting to a point. That was the hook. That was the first 2 minutes. The hook. You know what a hook is in a video. So get people to keep listening. She hasn't fulfilled the hook. She hasn't
She
gotten to
has
her.
because she never made that claim, bro.
She run it back. Run it back to the very first 2 minutes of the clip set
All right.
where she says it's strange how this woman who has no qualifications is suddenly running a $250 million company. That was the first, like, very first thing she said. She
But
hasn't gotten to how she's not qualified to do any of this. All she's saying is, oh, she had a grandpa and her dates don't match on her parents' divorce decree.
yeah, and
What does
she's
that have
taking
to
us
do with
through
Candace's?
a remember, and if you paying attention, she's taking us through a timeline of Erica's life, and
Why
she's
do we
working
have
her
to go
way up
back to the
there.
18th century? Why do we have to go back to the
Because that's
19th
what you
century?
got to do when you're doing investigation. You actually got to work out a timeline there. You just don't just jump right in. You
Oh,
got to
but
provide
if
the
it's Israel and
background.
Hamas, we only go back to 2000.
Well, hold on now, Monty. I say you can go back to 1948. I said there's multiple dates you can go back to, but let's not relitigate that argument
But
because we got to show
that's
the
your argument style. I was just attacking it. I'm trying to point out the absurdity in what you're saying.
no, there's no absurdity. You're kind of just, I mean, one's like you say, comparing apple to oranges.
It is comparing apples to oranges, but it's
No,
a
you're
it's a
doing.
consistency in your argument style that I was pointing out so that I could see. I'm trying to get you to see what I'm seeing. And it doesn't
No,
it doesn't
you're
make
kind of where
sense.
you're kind of working uninformed. That's the problem.
I'm not
You're working
working
with a lack of
uninformed.
information.
I'm listening to the same thing she's listening to. I don't need to know everything there is to know about Candace to know that
But
she
you do need
is.
to know everything about the investigation and all that good stuff before you sit there and
And she
just
won't give
say
us
that
any
she's bottom
information.
feeding.
We're listening. We're
She's
listening to
working at a
her.
timeline. That's not even the full series, Monty. Like I said, at least wait until it's out before you may have a full opinion. Well, that's why you see me reserving everything I'm saying. I'm just taking down notes because I understand what she's doing. She's doing this for years.
I
If you actually
I
watch Candace, this is what she does. This is what she's famous for. This is how she's broken a lot of stories. This exact pattern right here. So this is how I know you don't watch Candace because you wouldn't be complaining about this because this is what she's always done.
I mean, maybe I don't watch Candace because she doesn't get to the point. She just says a whole bunch of
I
nonsense and then
mean,
comes up
look,
with an
man, she got
opinion.
5 million, and I only got a 100,000. And I mean, look, gee, like the numbers speak for themselves. But like I said, let's go ahead and move on to our guy back to Alex Jones and PBD. They had an interesting interview. All right, let's get back to it.
I mean,
This
if you
one,
had no
bro, this
morals, you
one,
might have 5 million
man.
too, I guess.
Candace has morals. Come on now, bro. Now you just hating. Now you just hating.
And she didn't know how to handle it. And the audience looked at it. I would say that was one of the biggest stunts that helped Trump beat Hillary.
I agree.
The average person who watches this, they look at it and say, why don't you talk to the victims? Why don't you go speak to them? Why don't you want to hear their stories? What is the risk for Bondi to speak to them?
Again, I want to be clear.
Oh, and my bad. Shout out to my man Jack. He says she's taking orders to target certain people. Honestly, I think it's the opposite. I think everybody's taking orders to target her. I remember the whole campaign was, "Oh, is Candace Owens well?" It was literally like, bro, 40 influencers on TikTok saying the same thing, word for word, bar for
Because
bar.
she's
I was like,
acting
that is creepy.
deranged.
Monty, you didn't hear what I said. They're saying the same, and not really. No, they're saying the same thing, word for word, bar for bar, just like the news, just like Project Mockingbird. When all the news channels are saying the same thing about an event. I'm sorry, but once you start doing that very see-through plan that, oh, you're trying to get everybody to go against Candace, I'm kind of just like, you know what? I'm not going to believe everything she says, but I'm definitely going to listen to attentively, since all y'all guys want me to do is just condemn her for what? Doing what she's always been doing for a minute now. Like, she's been doing it like this, and now everybody's complaining because Erica
So
quit.
here's the difference, right, Set? When we can see through something, it's a little bit it hits a little bit differently, and you can kind of see the patterns that she's taken with other things. It calls into credibility other things that she's done when she discredits herself by bottom
Example,
feeding.
example. You
But
don't have
this is
one.
the example.
No, you
Listen,
know it's
listen,
not. It's not an example.
listen. You literally cannot listen. You do not want to. You do not want to hear your point challenged. I'll leave it
No,
alone.
Monty, I do want to listen, but you're not making sense because you don't know anything about this. I'm sorry. You don't, bro, you
I
just admit that you don't even watch Candace. You don't even know how she structured her shows. But I'm supposed to listen to somebody who don't know anything about Candace or how the show structured or her investigation style. But I'm just
what?
supposed to see your opinions on it. Like, dog, you don't know nothing. That's it. That's all. And that's fine.
Okay.
All
I
right.
mean, you're
All
just
right.
just look in the chat. Everybody is very confused as to what the hell she's getting on about.
Okay, Monty.
I'm trying to show people the different angles of the 35,000 foot view. I think Bondi's handled this terribly. I believe they are involved in a cover up, which has led them right into this disaster. And I'm going to answer your question, but first I want to say this. That's why Trump has to go there with all the human sacrifice, with the blood drinking, with the black magic on the blackboard, with the buried bodies, with the buying babies, with the disappearing children, and it's all Democrats connected to it. Instead, as Bondi said in the hearing yesterday, she said it'll bring down the stock market if this is known. I've said that about 500 times. Not that I agree with that, but I've been told right before Trump got reelected, they said, listen, Mossad, British intelligence, CIA ran this. It's really a giant money laundering operation, which we already knew. Yeah. Mike Pence proven. Trump believes that it's also cold. There's no way to prove it. The Democrats have had the file. They're going to twist it. He's been convinced it's all disaster. It's old news. It's designed to be a tar baby, which it is. So he's going to say, let's just move on. But I explained at the time, and I've told the White House this, you can't. It's a trap. This is how the people that are guilty trick you into becoming an accomplice and then manage it and turn it around and politically destroy you. And then, of course, none of the truth ever comes out. It's all a giant smokescreen of garbage and fake AI and the rest of it. So I was just simply bringing that clip up, not to obfuscate from the clip, that's why I raised it, but to say, here's the other layers to it that are going on. Now, to answer your other question, yes, this looks absolutely horrible. She looks like a deer in the headlights. She looks like she has a gun to her head. Like when we saw Bongino and Patel 11 months ago get up on Fox, they go, I know we said there were another shooter in Pennsylvania. There wasn't. Epstein acted alone. In fact, he wasn't even a child trafficker, and he had no accomplices, and he killed himself, and the Easter Bunny is real. And everybody turned against him because we'd already studied it. We knew it wasn't true. Plus, it was a 180. So it's the same thing. It looks terrible. It is terrible. It's hurting Trump really bad. It's hurting America. And again, my frustration is it lets the Democrats, who are the ones that are really guilty, if you look at the evidence, pretend that it's Trump and the Republicans that are the pedo protection party.
I mean, yeah, and that's just the truth. Like the whole Zorro Ranch, like the place in New Mexico where Epstein was committing some pretty heinous crimes and allegedly might have buried some girls out there. Bro, that was all being protected by Democrats. Like, and some of these Dems kind of knew what was going on in Zorro Ranch, and they just kept their mouth shut. And that's a state full of Democrats, ran by mostly Democrats, who was pretty much in line with what Jeffrey Epstein was doing. And there was a lot of Democrats, well, not a lot, but a decent amount of Democrats who were actually caught visiting the ranch, who were known to visit it. So yeah, he's right. Like, it does implicate the Democrats in some pretty serious things. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that Trump's cabinet was out here telling them, oh no, if you release it, just a bunch of shit on you, that honestly made things worse for Trump. when he should have just took the approach that he's taking now and just said, yeah, or F it, release it all. Let's get this Transparency Act going. If he did this, I don't know, beginning of 2025, we wouldn't be in this position with the Epstein files. Now, maybe Pam Bondi would still be in this position, but at least Trump wouldn't be.
And notice they're not going to the big reports of top Democrats and people raping kids and all the witnesses and everything. They're focusing on Lutnick, which is fine. Lutnick obviously was in business with him, obviously moved in next door to him, lied and said he only saw him once and thought he was a creep and ran out of his house with his wife. And then a couple of years later, he's out at his island with his kids. Oh, yeah. No. But Lutnick's never been implicated in any of the illegal stuff. Fine. Fire Lutnick, or if you found him in a crime, indict him. But let's spend as much time on the hardcore cannibalism, Satanism, human trafficking, buying, selling children, and that's Democrats.
They're not there yet. They're not there yet, by the way. It doesn't seem like they're there yet. This is the clip I think you were talking about, Rob. You may want to fast forward to the part. No, I get that. Go for it, Rob. When he starts saying, yeah, go ahead.
He killed himself. You want me to? I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
This is the clip you were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. So, a part of it for me yesterday, I watched the Bondi hearing, and I asked myself, I couldn't find one clip that made her look good. Not one. Typically, these hearings, you'll say, okay, she won this one, they won this one, this was even, this was whatever, nobody won here, she took this one. I don't know if I found the clip. Now, don't get me wrong. The whole fighting back and pushing back and all that stuff, was that present? Sure. Asking Jasmine Crockett, she goes for 5 minutes, doesn't ask a single question, or the other lady who doesn't bring up Hakeem Jeffries, or calling out a lot of these people. That's great. There's a part of it that some people are speculating. Tell me what you think about this, where the DOJ or the AG was monitoring what the representatives were searching when they were going to look at the Epstein files. I don't know if you saw that or not. Rob, do you have that?
I'll find it.
There's a story going around that they were actually monitoring what these representatives were searching when they went to look at Epstein files. What do you know about that story?
Oh, I'll guarantee you that was going on. I mean, I haven't seen the story, but of course they were. Everything in those computers is being monitored, and there's a record of it.
So meaning if I'm whoever I am, I'm going to go out.
It's just like when you search your own files or you search Google, they're searching a private database at the DOJ. Of course, they know who logs in, this congressperson, and then now they know what they're going to look at. They have a record of it.
So they know exactly what you're looking at. Why would they want to know what you're looking at?
I mean, by default, that's the way computers work. I don't know if that story is particularly true. I just know that's the way computers work.
Yeah, where is that story that Rob that's saying that happened?
Right here. This is Representative Nancy Mace of South Carolina said full release of the names of the Epstein files would shock the world. And then there is an article here this morning. Justice Department tracking which Epstein files lawmakers are searching for, opening, and reviewing. According to this is Nancy Mace as well.
Yeah, that's it. That's a 2-month-old story as well on what they're looking at. I guess it makes sense to see what person's story they're interested in. The other part of it is...
Well, no. It means the watchers are... Who's going to watch the watchers?
No, it's so funny, though. I remember when Rohanna and Massey went in there. Now, Massey, he was actually looking for, co-conspirators. Rohanna, he kind of exposed his TDS. He literally said, well, I went in there, I searched for Trump name, and I found it a lot of times. I'm just like, bro. So out of everybody that you could have looked up, you went in there looking for Trump, and Thomas Massey's the only person who did any real work actually looking for co-conspirators. It's like, bro, when the TDS is that blinding.
And so, I agree it's Big Brother. I'm just saying by the very nature of it, they have the technology, so I'm sure they are monitoring what they're watching.
I would assume this is something both sides probably do. The other part of it is, the Dems, they only want one person. They want Trump, right? They want to get Trump. This has been going on under 4 presidents that people have been looking at. Why is it that it's fallen on this administration's mishandling of the files? Because right now the left is running with this. They're saying they're hiding it. Massey and Rohanna are coming together. This is not a good look on the current administration.
Well, you just nailed it. But going back to your last thing you said about Bonnie, and then I'll cover that, if I may. Even Senator Kennedy, who's a Republican and likes her, he had to tear her up on Epstein. So even Senator Kennedy had to nail her, and that's because she's been sent in there to sell something that isn't going to sell, and everybody keeps blaming her and blaming even Todd Blanche, who, by the way, doesn't like me. I'm not defending him. they're following Trump's directives. And I said this, about a year ago when the cover-up started, and it's been since confirmed. So it's Trump that thinks it's a distraction and a diversion and tar baby, which it is, but it doesn't matter because exactly the Democrats never wanted to touch it. They covered it up. They controlled the files. That's why there's all these clips going around. I saw today of Don Lemon, just 3 years ago, going, how dare the Republicans try to investigate the Epstein files? This is bigoted and this is horrible and this is crazy and this is terrible. So yeah, and that's what Trump should be pointing out. You're the pedo party. You're the sexualized kids party. It's all the Democrats that are in these files. But because there are so many big bankers and British royalty and all of it, he has been told, that's what I was told. Again, I've said this probably 100 times. I said, Trump has been convinced that it will crash the economy if all these bankers and people, if this stuff comes out, and he thinks end justifies the means. It's too dangerous. And look,
which I ain't gonna lie, it's a bit of a crazy position. Like, look, bro, if they got caught up on trafficking children or messing with children, then they got to go to jail. The economy be damned. If it's built on child pedophilia, I promise you, we're not gonna miss it. Like, we're gonna, of course, need a shout out to my man Wesley when he says prosecute them all, restart the economy. Yeah, I agree with him on that. I mean, if we got a whole bunch of
why so the Democrats can go and say, hold on. Why? So the Democrats can come and say, oh, look, Trump crashed the economy just like they did with COVID.
I mean, it would be hilarious if they complain about it after arresting all the pedophiles, all the hedge fund guys that were involved with Epstein.
He can't win. This is an unwinnable
economy.
This is an unwinnable subject. So why focus on it? Is Trump's thing. The DOJ is focusing on it, but why would he shoot himself in the foot over things that happened 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, when it is a Democrat manufactured hoax? He knows it is. He sees it is. I'm sure he's seen the files. And everybody's like, oh, Trump's in there 100,000 times. Man, last week it was 38,000 times. The week before that, it was 4,000 times. The week before that, it was 1,800 times.
Now we're at a million.
we're going to be at 6 million next week. Like, every single iteration of Trump in there, like, I'm telling you, Set, like, I've looked through the Epstein files and looked for Trump's emails and stuff like that. They're literally campaign emails, like those fake form emails that you get that everybody gets sent out. There's a whole bunch of those in there. There's fucking countless news articles about Donald Trump where Trump's mentioned multiple times. That's not Trump in the Epstein files. That's something being cited with Trump's name in it in the Epstein files. You dumb asses.
But here's the problem, though. That Trump was actually misled about the Epstein file. They kept telling him that it was Democratic codes, just put your name on it. I mean, it's really a distraction, ignore it. And that's what Trump did. He went off the knowledge that his people were giving him, and he said, oh, it's all a hoax. We should just ignore it until, well, we the people kind of got our congressman to go out there and actually put up a fight for it. And now that Trump is actually seeing what's coming out, now that his hand has been forced, he's like, all right, this is not that bad. Why was I told to cover this up? Now we might as well just release everything. Because as it's coming out, Donald Trump isn't really getting hit with anything. I mean,
because he wasn't looking guilty. We knew this to begin with. Guilty. That's why we say it's a hoax, Set. That's why he said it was a hoax. When we sit back,
Donald Trump is implicated in it. Not that the Epstein files exist.
Yeah, and it's being fucking repeated over and over and over again. And the fucking takeaway, somehow, because people have a fucking room temperature IQ and don't know how to fucking log into DOJ.gov and fucking read the fucking instances of Trump's name in the files. They don't know how to do that. They'd much rather sit back and say and listen to fucking congressmen say, oh, he's in there 38,000 times, as if that fucking means anything. And then they come on this shit and fucking repeat it like they think they're fucking saying anything profound. And it doesn't matter how many times you explain it. All it is begging for airtime for fucking commentators. And it's fucking giving the Democrats fucking ammunition to say, oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. That's what we mean by it's a hoax. It's a manufactured hoax the same way COVID was. It's fucking designed to tank the economy. It's designed to fucking rip up any progress that Trump makes. Now I see why fucking Pam Bondi's talking about the Dow. Now I see why fucking people don't want to fucking talk about it, because it literally can do nothing but hurt him politically, not because he's going to be found guilty of anything, not because there's anything to it, but simply because the course that would be taken if he were to get rid of these people, and I think he should, right? Like, don't get me wrong, I think he should fucking go after these people, but the implication is that if he doesn't go after these people, he's protecting pedophiles, when it's been going on for 30 fucking years. It's been going on for as long as any of us that are commenting on it right now have been alive. But
Here's the thing. People don't understand that people aren't
Trump has
falsely.
to take it on the chin and fuck the entire economy up that he's working to fix, so that later on Democrats can say, "Oh, look what he did to the economy," and not fucking provide any introspection, not fucking hold themselves accountable in any way. And it doesn't fucking matter, because public perception will be that Trump's a pedophile and that's why he hid the files. That doesn't matter what the fuck is said. You're gonna play teams. They're gonna play team sports, and it doesn't fucking matter.
All right.
That's me fucking getting to the point Trump's at now.
And all right now, and a lot of people are, well, like I said, my man Wesley said prosecute them. The problem is statute of limitations. We do have statute of limitation when it comes to a lot of these charges,
because Democrats have protected them.
Hold on, Monty. Yes, because well, I'll be real with you. It seems like our own law is protecting them due to the statute of limitations. So y'all are asking us, or y'all demanding that Trump prosecute them or the DOJ prosecute them, but I mean,
when they have no grounds to.
Yeah, I mean, especially under the statute of limitations that let a lot.
So he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't.
Yep, pretty much.
And that's the perfect position to put him in. They weren't able to do it with COVID because everybody saw through it, and now they're going to try it with this because people like us arguably want people that hurt kids to be fucked with and fucking put under the jail. But because we're in this position now, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. All these fucking bankers go to jail. Holy shit!
All right, Mont, let's go.
I'm not pushing this. I'm saying let's look at his perspective. The carbon taxes have been estimated by top experts that they put them in the next decade to kill 2 billion people by starvation or war. Okay, Trump just got us out of the Paris Accord. They've secured the border. They found half of the 500,000 missing children. They've got no tax on tips. The economy is starting to turn around. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Getting men out of women's sports, exposing the NGOs. The election fraud. I mean, it's great. That's why it's paradoxical. I want Trump to succeed. But he has to understand that this has become a litmus test.
They're not going to win here if they continue going this way. If they continue fighting, opening it up, this is just going to make it seem like they're hiding something more and more and more. So what should
and if they go with it, they'll fuck the economy and Democrats.
Monty, come on.
And by the way, before you answer that question, guys, you've been asking this for a long time. It's official. Alex Jones is on Manect. You can officially ask him any questions.
Go ahead, Monty. You got to remember, you're louder than the video. So when you start talking, nobody can hear the video.
I mean, I don't know how to say anything while the video's playing. I can't pause it.
I know. But you just got to tell me to pause. I got you, brother.
Then everybody makes fun of me for saying pause. I'm damned if I do, damned if I don't. Fucking literally, there's two ways you can handle this. Go and fucking go after everybody. The economy fucking tanks. Everybody fucking becomes homeless. We go into a fucking recession and everybody blames Trump. Or the economy does well and you can still fucking afford to go to fucking work every day and afford to buy milk. And you get to sit back in the comfort of your home and say, get the pedophiles, and be fucking virtuous.
Good point.
Congratulations, you played yourself. You dumbasses.
Another one, and another one, and another one, and another one.
I know you couldn't. It's in a better place now.
Yeah, absolutely. So, did I answer your last question?
No. So I asked the question. So what should they do? Because for me, as I'm sitting there, if I score,
hilarious. Now, shout out Daniel Castro. He said, "What if Candace was a Dem plant to disrupt the GOP?" I mean,
bro, he said that like an hour ago.
Anything's possible, Castro. Anything's possible.
The biggest victories: crime, murder down 20%, border beautiful, safe. People feel safe having their kids play outside. San Diego, Arizona, Texas, New Mexico, Nice. We're winning in some of these areas.
DC.
Right. DC, safer, all crime, all this stuff. Minnesota, Minneapolis, ICE, maybe a couple fumbles there. Sure. This is number one fumble. And so if they hired 5 advisors to go sit in a room with them, these are logical players. You're one of them. What counsel do you give to them?
Well, when I was driving here this morning, I know the White House watches your show. They watch mine, but not as much. But I've been told by the folks they love your show, and I hope they listen. Look, I know they listen. I've Mark Mitchell, the pollster, was on my show a few months ago, and they really liked what he had to say. So the vice president brought him to meet with Trump and try to explain the same stuff. In which Mitchell was on my show yesterday, just saying this is you got to stop. He's doing right. He's one of the most accurate pollsters. It's killing Trump. My family, people on the street, my callers, my listeners. I've got my finger on the pulse. I don't need a poll to tell people want a rebel that goes after the evil deep state. We cut our teeth exposing the Democrats as the pedophile protection party. It's Keir Starmer was the head judge that wouldn't prosecute one pedophile for 15 years in the UK and protected the Islamic grooming gangs. And then now he's all tied in with all these people at Epstein's Island, and he won't resign. I mean, it's like they're up to their eyeballs in the real stuff. And Trump is just saying, I'm not involved. I didn't do anything. I dropped the dime, which is in the FBI files. Well, where's Trump at a press conference? See, I was the FBI informant. I got him arrested 18 years ago. I broke that with Roger Stone like 11 years ago before he even ran. So that's what's crazy is, though, he knows there's so much garbage. And that's what they explain. They go, sir, in the last year of Biden, they implemented this tip line. And I was telling people that were in the cabinet meetings when they convinced him of this. They go, sir, they implemented this tip line. And anybody by fax or email or phone can call in and fill out a report. So schizophrenic women, like in August, you'll call in and say, I was.
And this explains all the uncorroborated, wild-ass stories you hear about Trump, Elon, and maybe even Jay-Z. Maybe, like I said, because they was letting in all types of stories. As long as you're talking about Trump or some famous person graping you, I mean, they was going to go ahead and put that in the file.
What did I say? Back in April, May, when this was talking? They were talking about the client list that they acted like he had a fucking book that said client list on it that is just missing or something. The Democrats have had this, and so many administrations who were compromised have had this information and had free reign on it and been able to destroy, not redact, not leave the page in there and redact it, but just get rid of information, destroy things. And we're going to act like we're going to have any semblance of evidence that we're all going to be fucking Sherlock Holmes going through the Epstein files, speaking truth to power like we're fucking anything under the fucking boot of these people. Like, get a fucking grip. And the fact that everybody in the fucking comments right now, oh, Trump's just a lying piece of shit, blah, 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 proves my fucking point. It is a hoax. They're clinging on to anything. Nothing can exonerate him. Things can only get worse for him. So leave fucking, if I were Trump, leave it the fuck alone. Let the DOJ fucking go after it and keep fucking doing you. And when shit falls down and fucking people get arrested that can be arrested, that aren't outside the statute limitations, that fucking we do have evidence on, and fucking shit goes haywire, you'll still blame Trump for it because you'd never miss a fucking chance to blame anything on fucking Trump because he literally can do no good. He's the fucking Satan incarnate. Like, do you see what I mean, Seth? Like, it literally, it's a whole bunch of nothing, and they're trying to make something out of it.
Oh, no, I get what you're saying. Like, look, when it comes to Trump, we all understand that it's just like, it's a distraction from what's really going on in the Epstein files. Like I said, they don't know about Lex Wexner. They don't know about Leon Black. And these were, well, co-conspirators. These are literally guys who work with Epstein very closely, but I never hear you guys bring up their names. Wanna know why?
Because they don't know anything. All they know is that Trump's an evil
problem. So hold on, Monty. You guys can't sit there and claim to care about the Epstein files when you only care about Trump. We only looking in there for Trump. You're not actually looking in there for who was Epstein's co-conspirators. Because if you honestly looked at the Epstein files, you understand that Trump was not a co-conspirator of Epstein. He wasn't even purchasing girls or anything with Epstein besides flying on that damn plane. That's it.
I mean, I have probably done more research than anybody in this fucking chat combined, with the exception of you, Set. I have gone through as fucking hard as I can and tried to look for keywords, like all these things that they're talking about. Literally, every time Trump's name is mentioned, as far as I've gotten into it, is one of his campaign emails being sent to Jeffrey Epstein, one of his fucking his name popping up in an article 3 or 4 times because they mention his name. Like, and that's implication that the president is a pedophile. Are you fucking no?
Yeah, it's
They're not
wild.
stupid.
But,
They're again, they're not misinformed. They're willing to lie to themselves and believe a lie because it suits their own narrative that they've built in his head.
and all right, shout out to Asher Rose. She says, "What up? Hey, how's it going, sis?" And all right, let's go ahead and get back to the video. Oh, hold on here. Let me go ahead and shout you out real quick.
Mar-a-Lago and Trump and Elon, raped me, and all of a sudden, it turns out they weren't even at Mar-a-Lago then. Or another report, I was at this golf course this year, and Trump raped me and did this. The golf course wasn't built for 5 years. It's so Trump goes, "What you mean? There's a public?" And now, sir, you see Jamie Raskin and Schumer. Trump is in the files a million times. Well, because it's all so now they've got this ongoing tip line. So when you hear that there's 3 million more files they haven't given you, next month it'll be 5 million. You understand?
Yep.
Because it's
Thank you.
a perpetual motion machine. It's a cornucopia. It just spews it. So I'm not defending this. I'm telling you what Trump's been told. And that's why I said he's told it'll crash the stock market. Bondi yesterday, it'll crash the stock market. And it's not like if they had targets they could get, or even a few of their own people they could sacrifice, they do it. They know it's a giant mess of BS and crap. And then the women that are the victims and the survivors, almost all of them were, got into it. And that's how it worked. And we're actually madams, out running these operations. And now they've been recruited, staffed up by the Democrats, and are now on the payroll. That way, all the Democrats that are in there can be protected by the witnesses. Oh, we're not going to talk about kids disappearing or beef jerky. We're not going to talk about one piece of pizza that's glowing and loving, and you're going to love it for 7 people. We're not going to talk about, we'll deliver
These are the files?
Oh, yes. We'll deliver the 7, 9, and 12-year-old to the hot tub for your entertainment, Mr. Podesta. But remember, they're children, but they're well-trained. But you got to, yeah. And it's not just it's also in the WikiLeaks files. So all the same crap is in there that is in here. And it all just goes.
This is the clip you were talking about, Rob, if you want to play. Don Lemon on Anderson Cooper saying you shouldn't go after Epstein's files. Go ahead.
I think it's interesting when you look on the internet and you see the bigotry on the internet and the people who have been, these conspiracy theories about QAnon and about Jeffrey Epstein. There's a picture of me on the internet, right, where someone has superimposed the face of Jeffrey Epstein over Chris Cuomo and I, like hanging out, and there are people who actually believe it. And people say, well,
well, look what y'all were doing with Trump with AI.
Look what you're doing. Yes.
Like, bro, that was wild what they would look like when the Epstein files came out. Dog, the AI slop was egregious. I'm talking about little girls walking in a line and there's an AI video of Trump pointing to them going like, oh, I want that one. It's like, y'all guys are effed up for even trying to put that out there if it was something real. And Dems were actually looking at that and taking it as
and believing it.
Man, and only to be,
and they use that as their evidence to support their claim. It's the cognitive dissonance that fucking gets me. It's like you cannot prove that something did not happen. You can only prove that something happened. So in order to prove that something that didn't happen happened, are you following me? Like it physically did not happen, but in order to prove that it happened, you have to create AI slop. You have to create the implication in people's brain because they're fucking useful idiots and will go and parrot anything. Like you have to put that thing in there, and then you mix it up. You radicalize them. You mix it up with, oh yeah, well Trump's been mean to women, and that just so I believe it. Like. You're believing shit without proof, to believe shit without proof, to believe more shit without proof, to hate a guy because what? He's the president and you're not? Your party's not in power? Like, what the fuck?
All right, back to it.
all Trump supporters are bigots or racists. Okay, fine. You can believe that. But when I
What?
look at all the people who put things like that on the internet,
Hey, that's hilarious. Hold on. He said not all Trump supporters are bigots or racist. You could believe that, but bro, come on, bro. Just say that not all Trump supporters are racist or bigots.
He can't say that. You can believe that because
Yeah,
I
you can
believe it.
that, but you come on now. It's like
So much so that I'm willing to terrorize them in their church.
yeah, I mean, because according to Don Lemon, we're all racist and bigots.
Yep.
99 times out of 100, it is a Trump supporter. So people should think about that as they are placing those things on the internet, as they are wearing
Muslims,
Yeah.
Muslims,
Yeah.
Muslims.
Well, I mean, talking about that, there's a fake flight manifest that has like 100.
that you're on it.
Yeah, I'm allegedly on it. Obviously, if you want to see who was on that flight, there are court documents, and there's like a handful of people whose names you might know who were. Who were ever on any flights of his.
Here's the same tag they ran. WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, about 2 months for the election in 2016, releases millions of emails. So everybody goes and jumps in them and verifies them and checks them. And there's all these emails about upstate New York and other places with the Podestas, with others, like, hey, we're going to have our Thelema rituals tomorrow. We're bringing the spirit cooking. That's blood.